Every country has its moment. It's time to shine.
When the universe conspires, planets align.
Scotland invites you, our stage is set.
For one brilliant year we'll never forget.
A homecoming to celebrate all that we are. Countless events, parties near and far.
We welcome the world to come and to share, so you too can say, yes, I was there.
A very good morning from the International Hockey Centre here in Glasgow for live coverage of the final day of the FIH Women's Champions Challenge, brought to you live and exclusive on FIH TV. Today's first fixture is the 7th and 8th place playoff between India and hosts Scotland. And it's the first of 4 matches that we have coming up for you today. Starting with Scotland against India, then the 5th, 6th place playoff between Korea and Belgium. The 3rd, 4th place playoff match between South Africa and Spain, that's for the bronze medal. And then, of course, later on in the early evening here in Glasgow, the final of the Women's Champions Challenge between Ireland and the United States. All of this week's coverage has been brought to you by Scottish Hockey and their event partners Glasgow Life, Event Scotland, NCS, Ginger Grouse, Hero and the Government of Argentina, and we're grateful for their support in bringing you this fantastic event live and exclusive on FIH TV. Now it's my very great pleasure to introduce into our commentary team for not just this match but throughout the day, Rona Simpson, who's been with us throughout the week, off and on, and delighted also to welcome Neil Sturrock into the commentary box. Neil is the head of sport at University of Strathclyde and is also an FIH Grade 1 coach. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Jack.
So the game in front of us today is Scotland against India, and we can just take a look at how these two teams have got here, Rona. Scotland, as the hosts, have played some exciting matches, might be a little bit disappointed to be involved in this 7th, 8th playoff. India, on the other hand, have unfortunately just had a bit of a miserable tournament. Just look back over the tournament, reflect on the performances of both teams, and then maybe Neil, come in and tell us what you're expecting from today's match.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Jack. I think Scotland will be very disappointed to be playing off our 7th and 8th this morning. Having watched them throughout the week, I think they've actually performed superbly well at times. Possibly the telling point, just not quite capitalising on the opportunities that they've created, and that at this level we know can obviously make that vital difference. So they'll be pleased with some of the performances they put in, but disappointed with the end results. But again, they're in a preparation phase. They're building towards obviously the Commonwealth Games, and I'm quite sure Gordon Shepherd will reflect, look back on the tournament and really build on the positive aspects that we've seen. On the other hand, as you say, India, they've not really shown us very much. They are quite a young side, and I think that's shown throughout the tournament. And again, they had in a preparation phase, but probably playing off for 7th and 8th this morning is where they are at in this particular tournament.
Just going back to what you said there about Scotland perhaps being a little bit goal shy up front, not being able to take their chances. Gordon Shepherd, the coach, had a couple of controversial decisions and squad selection coming into this tournament. He obviously still has some decisions to make before that May 18th deadline, where the Scottish women will find out whether they're being included in the Commonwealth Games squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously nervy times for players. They know they're only weeks away from that final selection. Obviously, with it being a home games, it's got that little bit of an added twist to it. Obviously, every player fighting for those final 16 places. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think some players have performed very well. There will be thoughts running through Gordon's mind to make any changes, and he'll be looking at that over the next few weeks. And who knows, it's a tough time for players, but all they can do is go out, perform to their best, and let the coach make the decision at the end of the day.
Let's just quickly take a look at yesterday's results, and we can see how we got here today. The classification match in the morning saw Scotland defeated 3-2 by Korea, with Belgium then defeating India 4-2. That means that this morning's 7th-8th playoff is Scotland-India. The 5th-6th playoff will be Korea-Belgium to follow this, and then we'll talk more about the semi-finals and the finals a little bit later on. So the teams are introduced to us here in Glasgow to the strains of the Star Wars theme tune. It is, of course, May the 4th today, Star Wars Day, and I think Vinnie Bryson, our venue PA operator, will be treating us to something of a Star Wars theme throughout the day. So May the 4th be with you today, Rona and Neil.
I hope so.
Just as the teams are introduced to us, we'll go over the team sheets shortly after the national anthems. Neil, this is your first day at the tournament, but you've been watching from home, and what have your impressions been of the tournament as a whole?
I've been really impressed, Jack. I think the standard of hockey has been excellent. For me, I think one of the things that's been outstanding is the intensity that the teams have tried to play at. The pace of the ball. I think that's been one of the downfalls of some of the teams, though, is in fact that they've been playing so quickly that the connections, especially in the critical areas round about the circle, have been the things that have been missing. If that bit can be added to the Scotland team and some of the others, then I think we're going to see a lot of goals today.
Well, we'll see if that means anything to these Scotland today. You can see the players being presented to you in front of the crowd, and a sizable crowd has come out today to support the home team. And we've had several thousand on occasion here over the course of the week on any given day, and a lot of school children from around the Glasgow area who've been able to enjoy some fantastic hockey. Rona mentioned this earlier in the week, but this is how you inspire young people to take part. It's something that you spend your life doing as well, and you know, it's great to see.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think you can get a better opportunity, and as I say, we brought along our own school kids for that precise experience to watch players at the top level, and hopefully that does inspire young kids. We know, when we've seen it before, when Andy Murray won Wimbledon, everyone wants to play tennis, so hopefully this week's tournament can have the same knock-on effect to the hockey world. But yeah, it's great to see. I mean, I didn't start playing hockey till I was at school, and that was where my career started. So hopefully many others can then start from that young age. Well,
Rona is an example to you all out there, young hockey players, as a former Olympian and Commonwealth competitor for GB and Scotland. So the announcement just before the national anthems is to celebrate the 50th cap of Nikki Lloyd, and Gordon Shepherd, her coach, will present her 50th cap and a bouquet of flowers to commemorate the occasion. Great to see. We've seen a number of players from all the teams marking auspicious milestones over the course of the week, and the teams, her teammates also show her great encouragement. So the national anthems, and first the national anthem of Scotland. the national anthem of Scotland, Flower of Scotland. And now
Scotland are managed by Julie L and India are managed by Pingo Chenu. Your umpires today are Maggie Giddens from the USA.
so the two teams complete the pre-match formalities with the handshake, and just time to take you through the two teams, starting with the Scotland team. And the Scotland squad on your screen at the moment is the full squad, but the starting lineup today: in goals, number 2, Nicky Cochrane; number 4, Morag McLennan; number 8, Kat Ralph; number 10, Sarah Robertson; number 13, Ailsa Wiley; number 15, Lee Fawcett; number 16, Becky Merchant; number 18, Susan McGilvray; number 19, Nikki Lloyd; number 22, Nikki Scraston; and number 23, Emily Maguire. And the coach, Gordon Shepherd. And for India, number 1, Navneet Kaur; number 4, Monica; number 11, the goalkeeper, Savita; number 14, the captain, Ritu Rani; number 15, Poonam Rani; number 16, Vandana Kataria; number 17, Deepika; number 21, Yen Dalla; number 26, Sunita Lakra; number 31, Lalima Mintz; and number 32, Manjit Kaur, and their coach, Neil Hawgood. So just a moment away from pushback. India to start us off, going from right to left, and your commentators throughout the game: Neil Sturrock and first Rona Simpson.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting contest this morning. Both teams will certainly want to finish this tournament on a high. They've both had mixed fortunes throughout the tournament. As I said earlier, Scotland have performed to a high level, consistently well at times, but just haven't managed to capitalise on their chances, and that's the difference of why they're playing off for 7th and 8th this morning. India, on the other hand, have found it pretty tough throughout the week, but they will have some, and showed, particularly against the USA, that they can produce some entertaining and great quality hockey, and I'm quite sure that is what both coaches will be looking for this morning: a solid performance to round off this tournament. So with me is Neil Sturrock, FIH Grade 1 coach and Director of Sport at the University of Strathclyde. Neil, what do you think we can take from this game this morning?
I think if the Scottish team can keep the tempo up really early on, try and put the Indians under pressure, that's what Gordon will be looking for. The girls have played with a really good tempo throughout the game and throughout the tournament, so hopefully if they start off well and get an advantage in the first 10 or 15 minutes, that will see them a good start.
Absolutely. So India working the ball out the back. They are pretty confident individuals on the ball, but Scotland steal it, and Emily Maguire an opportunity to get some pressure on the circle. But India stand strong at the moment, and they look to break out through Ritu. Here she comes again down the left-hand side. Indians very comfortable on the goal. They've got some great individual skill, Neil.
Absolutely. It's part of their game, isn't it? Their individual skills one-on-one are absolutely excellent. Very good wristy actions and ability to move the ball with good reception.
So Scotland now forced deep into their own half. Nicola Scraskin, who's lines up as a forward, is battling back on her own baseline. So Scotland do survive, and they get a chance to restructure, readjust, and the ball goes round the back. a feature of the modern game, just trying to find that opening, that channel. Katrina Ralph, Becky Merchant just happy to pass the ball between them at the moment. India's just dropping off, allowing Scotland that time and space, and now get that opportunity to come forward. A great passing and link-up move, and Nicholas Graskin now in a more familiar forward position, trying to create something for Scotland. They have won a free hit outside the Indian circle. The ball must be taken from where the infringement happened. So Sarah Robertson now, lovely individual skills and a great opportunity there, and possibly that's one of the things we've spoken about, Neil, just capitalising on these early chances.
Absolutely, it was a really good build-up, wasn't it? Nice and patient at the back to release Lee Fawcett as the wide right defender, to then have a nice combination going into the midfield and back out to the right wing.
I wish it's going to come to you, so that anticipation, that level of concentration, say as a forward, you've just got to always expect that ball.
Absolutely.
So Katrina Ralph smashes the ball forward. Ailsa Wiley deflects it, but it goes high. So that is a dangerous pass, and the umpire quite rightly signals for a hit out for India. So they're just taking their time, getting themselves organised. India will be quite happy just to see these first few minutes, opening minutes, just trying to settle themselves into the game, Neil.
Absolutely, but it's interesting, Ron, isn't it? The Indians have started with a back three and three in midfield and throwing four forward, so it's almost as though they're going player for player against Scotland. Not sure whether they've done that before, and it'll be interesting as to how the Gordon's players will be able to cope with that.
Yeah, absolutely. They've mixed up their tactics throughout the tournament and also during matches, so it is something that Gordon Sheffield will be keeping an eye on, as will the assistant coaches, to see how the formations change, because that will have an impact therefore on how Scotland adapt to that. But it's India thumping the ball forward, but Becky Merchant, who has had a really strong tournament, I think, for Scotland at the back, just tidying up once again.
I think one of the strong things, Rona, with the Scotland team now is their flexibility with a really strong defence. With Emily Maguire coming back in, it also allows Kat Ralph and Emily to play in that central midfield role, which I think is crucial to them.
Yeah, absolutely, and one thing that is crucial in tournament play is the ability to have players that can play in more than one position for lots of reasons, and that's certainly something, as you say, is now much more bigger feature in the Scotland game. So the subs being rolled already in this game, as we say, game number 6, the final day of the Women's Champions Challenge, and there will be some tired legs out there from both teams as the match goes on, so substitutions, I'm quite sure, will be thick and fast at times, Neil.
Yeah, absolutely, but all these players have worked pretty hard for it. As you said earlier on, it's important for them for Commonwealth Games selection, and although it's early days in the full-time programme, I know the girls are in really good condition.
So Scotland working really hard to try and get an early advantage in this game. The final match for them in this tournament, but India have it at the moment. They look to try and break out, but they're forced to go all the way back. They're trying to create space. Kerr there just knocking the ball forward, but again the Scotland defenders on this occasion, Susan McGilvery, quite comfortable just stepping in and mopping up at the back, and Scotland again comfortable in possession at the moment, Neil.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's impressed me, Ron, is the team defence that Scotland are setting up, so that the Indian players don't really have much time on the ball. They're working in packs, and even if that pack doesn't get the ball, then the pass from the Indian player is more of an interception to the next Scotland player. Really impressed with the work rate that they've got just now.
So here they come again, Scotland working hard down that right hand side. It's with Ali Bell trying to penetrate through the Indian players. Nikki Kidd now has her chance. Infringement from her on this occasion means that India can bring the ball out the back, and they calmly take their time, get set up. They look to play into that pocket and then back out. The Scotland players now really getting a heavy press on. Ailsa Wiley creeping up there on the opposite side of the defender, and obviously a tactic from Scotland to really press the ball carrier early on, Neil.
Absolutely, and trying to keep the ball on one side so it's easier for them to defend. I think one of the things we've seen already, Rona, is that the Scotland team managing to get down into that right corner, but the Indians put about 5 players round about the player on the ball, and we seem to be relying just now on individual skills to beat them. I think Gordon will be looking to try and find either an early release out of there before the Indians go across, or some passing pattern to be able to get the ball through that zone.
So, Katrina Ralph, who won her 150th cap in the previous match, just calmly in control at the back. Scotland, plenty time and space to bring the ball out the back. So forward it goes, but this time intercepted by India. Now it's all the way back to their circle edge, and looking for a telling pass. Just trying, and Nikki Kidd steps in there for Scotland. Finds Ailsa Wiley this time on the right, who's in the circle. Can Scotland capitalise? But no, India come away again. Rani this time breaking out. She's looking to link, and she does so with Yandali. Yeah, nice piece of play between the two players. Again, good turn there by Rani, and she's now working hard down the left-hand side, trying to penetrate the Scotland circle. And it's India who win a free hit. Number 16 there. So back it goes to Manjeet, who's great ball into the Scotland circle, and Dickie Cochrane just scrambling about in goal there to make sure that comes to no danger. It was a good ball forward by Manjeet, a little deflection into the Scotland circle, and that's the first call into action for Nikki Cochrane. And I've been watching her throughout the tournament, Neil, and she's impressed me in goal for Scotland.
I think
yeah, so we can just see there from the replay that that little deflection can cause lots of problems. Every player needs to keep their concentration, make sure that they do not lose any form of concentration, because that can be crucial. So Scotland go up the other end, and they have the first penalty corner of the game. We have played 10 minutes in this opening match this morning of the Women's Champions Challenge 1 finals day here at Glasgow Green. So can Scotland capitalise on this corner? But a crucial stage and point of the game here, Neil, and a great opportunity for Scotland to go ahead.
absolutely. Be interesting to see whether they go with the straight drag flick, or whether Gordon has seen the defence that the Indians set up. They're looking to show an arrowhead. We'll see what happens with the options coming out.
So the umpire has blown. That is because the flyer has broken the line, which means she will now have to go to the halfway line, which means India now have to defend with only 3 outfield and the keeper. So another opportunity for Scotland to make the most of this.
And you would expect that they're going to use an option to draw the defence out to give a free shot.
So slip to the left. Keeper makes a save, but they do get the rebound. But Aileen Davis just not quite connecting with that rebound. It's deemed dangerous, so India come away and can sigh a big sigh of relief there. They've survived that penalty corner, and Scotland will be pretty disappointed with that effort, Neil, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think so. It was a good option to slip to the left, but I think one of the problems there is that if you see that the Indian defence haven't come very high, so actually you're just shooting from 16 yards on the goalkeeper and 2-3 players round about her. I think Gordon would be looking to get the ball a bit closer to the goal next time before we actually take the shot.
So the scores remain 0-0 at the moment. It is with Scotland at the back. Katrina Ralph just stepping forward. Restart for us. Aileen Davis now working alongside her. Nikki Merchant taking a little well-earned rest for a few minutes.
Quite interesting, Rona, if you look at the pitch just now, the Scotland back four are spread out across the pitch, and their two wide midfield players are in the outside channels because the Indians have got a real domination in the centre of the field, and Scotland trying to go around the outsides at the moment.
So Vicky Bunce driving forward there for Scotland. She earns Scotland a free hit, and the players are certainly getting a lot of encouragement. The crowd singing Flower of Scotland and urging the players to keep up this high tempo and possibly break that deadlock. So everyone encouraging the Scots at the moment. You can see Gordon Shepherd down there on the touchline, just words of wisdom to Nicola Lloyd before she enters the fray. And India now back in possession through Lily. Just again, here she comes again, looking to work that ball out. But back it goes to Manjeet, all the way at the back. She is one of their main distributors, looking to find those channels. But India certainly look a little bit more comfortable in the ball than they have done in previous matches, Neil.
Yes, I don't know whether it's getting used to the tournament pace and just working with Neil Hoggood, their coach, but certainly they're comfortable on the ball. They're looking a lot more comfortable in their system. Scotland need to just make sure that a little bit of patience to work the ball around, because the Indians are really trying to cut off anything going through the centre of the field.
Absolutely. So just over 20 minutes remaining in this first half of the opening match of the Women's Champions Challenge here at Glasgow Green on finals day. And India and Scotland deadlocked at the moment. No breakthrough for either team, and that first goal could be absolutely crucial. Ali Bell working hard to try and close down, but it is still with India. They managed to get the ball forward and playing some nice patterns of play, just being patient in their build-up. Scotland now chasing the ball. They're trying to break it down, and Vicky Bunce does just that. Ali Bell got a chance. Nicola Lloyd breaking hard in front, but just rode marginally too hard, but a good option.
Yeah, they're looking for the right combination. It was just the pace of the lead and the pace of the pass just didn't quite connect. But that's what we're looking at. They'll be looking to try and make sure they get more of. Interestingly, the Indians tend to switch the ball around the back, don't they? They don't really switch much through the middle of the park. It goes back through their sweeper almost to change the point of attack.
Yeah, she certainly is one of their key players, and even playing from such a deep position, Manjeet is certainly one of their big playmakers, and looks to play back to front on occasion. So the ball goes safely over the Scotland back line. So it will be a hit out for Scotland. A few more substitutions being made as the back line just readjust. Lee Fawcett just taking her time to allow players to get back into position. Emily Maguire now just playing slightly higher in the pocket in the midfield. And it's with Morag McClelland. Nice link-up play there down the right-hand side with Katrina Ralph. It's back with McClelland. India win it back. They regain possession. So what can they produce on this occasion? Nikki Lloyd doing what forward needs to do there. Okay, we've got to go forward, but they've got to do some defensive work as well, Neil, in the modern game.
Absolutely, and I think the Scotland forwards throughout the tournament have shown that capacity to do the defensive work and do it early, which means that the other team don't really get the possession in the dangerous areas.
So Scotland line up with three at the front. Just allowing India to bring it out, but as soon as it goes to one side, they are pressing hard to try and keep it in there. Vandana, however, some nice individual skills, and penalised on this occasion, however, for shielding the ball. So Nikki Merchant retrieves the ball, the steps off, allows Lee Fawcett to come in, take the ball back to Emily Maguire, and it's interesting at the moment, Neil. Indian pressing hard up front, but almost then leaving a big gap between the forwards and the midfield.
Absolutely, and I think Scotland are trying to work it round so they can find one of the wide wing defenders and get the ball early down the line. If they do this 5 or 6 times, then it will work the Indians very hard, and the physical part will tell in the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Nikki Lloyd battling through the midfield, but India, like Camley, trying to work themselves back into this game. They are deadlocked at the moment. Scotland 0, India 0 in the opening match of this morning's final day of the Women's Champions Challenge 1. So, an opportunity here now for Vandana, India, just to try and get the ball higher up the pitch. They're attacking Scotland's 23. They haven't had too much action in the circle, Neil, and that's probably an area that their coach will be looking at to try and get more out of, possibly looking into the second half.
I think so. From the Scotland's defensive perspective, they're on the ball very quickly. They're not giving the Indian players an awful lot of time, especially in the danger areas. When they're playing the man for man the way the Indians are trying to do it, they're trying to set up these one-on-ones. The Scotland players have to be a little bit lighter on their feet because they are getting planted a little bit, which allows them to be taken out by the individual skills.
Yeah, and we know how important that mobility is. You've got to protect your feet, you've got to be able to react and move quickly, and certainly a skill that they do enough training for, so hopefully they will be able to maintain that level of intensity throughout this game. So Davis now battling down the right. The umpire allows play on. She takes a quick free hit, looks to play it early into the circle, and it's broken for Ailsa Wiley's got an opportunity, and a great save by the Indian keeper Savita there in goal. A stick save to stop Scotland possibly opening the scoring. So a great opportunity for Scotland, a well taken shot from Ailsa Wiley, and a great save from the Indian goalkeeper, Neil.
Yes, very good. And Ailsa doing exactly what the coach would want and hitting across the goalkeeper so that if there was any save it would come back into play. Excellent save by the keeper, and then the Indians managed to clear.
So Scotland attack the circle. This time it's Nikki Lloyd, but the ball is in the air. That is deemed dangerous. So with 15 minutes, here we can see it again, Neil, as we just talked, it's just broken. Take us through it.
Yeah, Ailsa picks up the ball really nicely, looks across, and a really good strike all the way across. Excellent save, and Indians pick it up and clear. So the game is beginning to open up. It is end to end at the moment, but Scotland seeing a lot of possession, comfortable to work the ball, but India have stolen it back, and now a real opportunity. They've got numbers for it, but just cannot quite connect there. Rani looking to play her forward in, Monica, but she was just not quite able to connect with that. So we can see the subs being rolled, keeping the intensity of the game up. Ralph and Bunce rejoin the action. But it's Scotland putting themselves into a wee bit of pressure here, Rona, because with 3 at the back and playing 2 in midfield and trying to feed these 2 in midfield, they're being overrun a wee bit by the Indians, who have got the zone in the middle of the park. Just they're giving a wee bit of possession away that's putting them under pressure.
That'll be interesting to see if that changes tactically for the second half. But at the moment, India and Scotland deadlocked at 0-0. We are going into the final 13 minutes of this first half. There have been opportunities at both ends. India now enjoying a little bit of pressure. They're attacking the Scotland goal and smacking the ball in. It falls kindly for them in the circle. Susan McGilvray, Nikki Cochrane is called into action, but it's still with India, and that can be dangerous. And I think the Indian players thought they had earned themselves a penalty corner there by finding the foot, but umpires didn't see anything wrong with it, so the game carries on, Neil.
Yeah, a really good attack and build-up by the Indians to get into the inside left channel in the Scottish circle. I think Neil Hoggood, the Indian coach, will feel a little bit hard done by, but whether the foot actually changed where the ball was going and what was happening, umpires deemed it didn't, so play on.
So, just under 12 minutes remaining. That's a great aerial ball right over the Scotland defence, and obviously they can't do much about that, and that has become a real feature of the modern game now, particularly much more in the women's game now, Neil.
Yes, so you're right. It wasn't prevalent in the women's game for a long time, but now all the sides are using it and using it really well.
Here comes Scotland again, and I think just talking about the area, but obviously with the rule change, players now being able to stop it above their head has certainly made a difference to how teams use it.
Absolutely, and the 3D skills that are now available on an artificial pitch, and not just along the ground but in the air, taking away the flat tackle.
So it is pretty fast and furious. We have 4 or 5 players lining up down below us here, ready to join the fray. Subs are happening thick and fast to try and maintain the intensity, the high level of play in this match as we approach the final 10 minutes. At the moment, if you've just joined us, it is Scotland 0, India 0. And if you have any comments, we would love to hear from you. You can tweet us at FIH_hockey, #CC1. So please give us your thoughts on not only this game, but any of the previous games. We would love to hear your comments. So, Buns, great ball forward to Ralph. And again, Clement now, Scotland captain, ball into Shreds. Fantastic link-up play, and great. Buns now with an opportunity. Her stick is held, and the umpire signals for a penalty corner. That was a fantastic build-up play move, Neil.
Yeah, absolutely. Built the ball around the back and then came down the right with that 1-2 combination again, giving Scotland a good chance. I think the coach would have been slightly disappointed that the last pass was onto a reverse stick. If it had been on the front stick, then they could have had a first shot to put the goalkeeper under pressure. But we'll see what the Indian defence run here. They were looking like an arrowhead before. I think that's why Scotland probably used the option. We'll see what they do this time.
So it's a drag flick option from Nikki Kidd. The keeper, Savita, again called into action, makes a good save. It's gone for a long corner, but Scotland can't capitalise on that. An Indian opportunity to break out. But yeah, 2 corners, 2 shots on target, but Gordon Shepherd possibly looking for a wee bit more.
I think so. A good save by the goalkeeper. She was going to her right, and Nikki disguised it well and put it to the bottom left, but the goalkeeper managed to get her pad to it.
So yeah, we can see it here in the replay. It's a good drag flick, it's a good save. It went for the long corner, so the teams remain deadlocked at 0-0. As India try and break out of their own half. There are numbers round the ball, some great individual skill there. Now Deepika, she wins a free hit, looks to take it quickly, smashes the ball forward, and that was a good ball into the circle, possibly a little bit braver by the Indian forwards. Diving deflection there, she would have reached that.
Yeah, very good foul to give away by Becky. Very good foul to give away by Becky Merchant to just stop the play, because the Indians were running with an overload there.
So 8 minutes remaining in this first half of finals day in this opening match, Scotland versus India here at the International Hockey Centre at Glasgow Green. And here comes Vicky Bunce once again for Scotland, driving through the Indian players. She earns herself and Scotland a free hit. Ali Bell tries to take it quickly, but the umpire says not from there, thank you very much. It has to go back to where the infringement happened. So, Trina Ralph now in the correct place. Plays ball forward, out it comes again to Aileen Davis. Just dwells a little bit on it, but get away with it. So again, Scotland have a free hit. Aileen Davis, opportunity to drive into the circle, but lifts the ball into a crowded area. So that is deemed dangerous, and the umpire signals for an Indian hit out. So 3 or 4 Indian players changing over there. They're hoping to keep this intensity up. The substitution's really important late on. But here comes Bunsen, Scotland, a chance to break. She's round the defender, she's in the circle, but just can't quite keep control of that. And the Indians, an opportunity now, Neil, to counter-attack.
Absolutely, and this is where the Indians are very strong. They can pick the ball up and get the ball up to the other end very, very quickly. Scotland have to be careful that they don't commit too many players forward in some of these attacks and find themselves lacking at the back.
So, India have a free hit just outside the Scotland 23. A great ball in. This time it was a diving deflection. Hindali and the Indian players insisting that it came off a Scotland foot, but umpire sees nothing wrong with it, so the game carries on. And now Ali Bell trying to create an opportunity for Scotland going forward. Ralph thumps the ball forward. It comes off an Indian stick and goes for a Scotland long corner. Buns once again trying to break through, but the game is going from end to end at the moment. McClelland finds Ali Bell wide on the right, but she can't pick it up cleanly. The ball runs over the sideline, so India working the ball out again. Manjeet, their key distributor from the back, comes all the way over to take that, but it breaks for Scotland. Sarah Robertson now back in the play. We can see anxious expressions from Gordon Shepherd there on the screen. He was a little bit disappointed, I think, that Vicky Bunce hadn't earned a free hit, but the umpire continued with the game. It is a long corner now for Scotland.
I think within the last 5 minutes, Rona, we're going to see some prior tackles, and here's some wood on wood. The umpires will be interesting to see what they do with it.
Yeah, just exactly as we speak. It is a few stick tackles, as you say. Gordon Shepherd is fairly animated down there on the touchline. We can see again here on the replay some great skills there from the Scotland number 5, Ali Bell. But it breaks. They think there's a foot. That's why the Scotland players protesting. And then Vicky Bunce sweeps wildly at that. But yeah, Gordon Shepherd, certainly we can see there on the screen, he is not particularly happy with what is happening out there at the moment. He feels his players are not possibly getting the outcomes they deserve. But the umpires make the decisions that they see. They can therefore not make a decision that they cannot see, but it is and can be, as we can see from Gordon's expressions, pretty frustrating at times for the coaches, Neil. You know about that.
Absolutely. When you stop playing and you're coaching, you play every single ball, and you see every foul your way. It's very difficult. I think the umpires are doing a good job in blowing up what actually impacts on the game, and the ones where it doesn't, they're just letting it play. I think it's getting to 3.5 minutes to go now, and this is a critical time in the game where the players really need to concentrate. Last thing you want to do is lose a goal going in just before half-time.
Absolutely, so it's back with Scotland deep in their defending quarter. Susan McGilvray is working the ball to Aileen Davis. Scotland have gone 3 at the back to try can use the width, try and get the ball round the outside of Indian team who have numbers through the middle area of the pitch. So Scotland will need to just be patient to try and find that opening and that opportunity. It's with Morag McClellan at the moment, but she just doesn't quite connect, which allows India a chance to counter-attack. And I think it must have come off the foot there of Yandali, and that allows Scotland to restart and build again from the back. Good touch there from Nikki Lloyd on to Sarah Robertson, and a great turn. She has support ahead of her. Ailsa Wiley, it's in the Indian circle, it bobbles just over the stick, but an infringement prior to that. And Scotland to bring it back for a free hit outside Indian
really good
circle.
lead, really good lead. Ball probably should have gone earlier to Ailsa on the baseline so that we could have been, or Scotland could have been pulling the ball back. Oh, great snapshot.
So yeah, we see there a great opportunity. An instinctive shot there on the reverse stick half volley from Nicola Lloyd. You can see it here on the replay. It's good skills from Sarah Robertson. Ball bobbling, but a good half chance there taken by Nikki Lloyd, just wide of the Indian goal. So here come India again now, working hard through that midfield area. They do have players ahead of the game. They do have support higher up the pitch, and they will be looking to try and also get a bit of pressure in these final minutes on the Scotland defence.
Good defensive work there from Susan McGillivray. Really tight pressure on her marker and not giving her any time to do anything, turning the ball over to get the free hit.
So Scotland in possession with the ball at the back, trying to create a forward opportunity. It goes forward, but they can't quite make that connection, and we are into the final minute of this half, the opening match of today's women's programme, Scotland versus India. If you've just joined us, it is deadlock at the moment. No one has managed to break that deadlock, so it is 0-0 as we stand, just over 30 seconds remaining, and both teams would certainly not want to concede a goal at this point. They're probably both quite happy to get to half-time in the current situation, and also then allow the coaches, teams just to regroup for the second half, Neil.
Oh, absolutely. With this amount of time left, I think you try to build it up and then just see how you can do if you can get into the circle, maybe get one last corner.
So India thump the ball clear on the reverse, but it's dangerous, so Scotland try to take it quickly and capitalise on that, but we hear the half-time hooter. It is Scotland 0, India 0, and as the players make their way into the changing room, I'm quite sure both coaches will have quite a bit to think about. They'll be planning their tactics, their game plan for the second half. Do you think we'll see any changes, Neil?
I think Scotland will look to play down the outside as they've been doing. The Indians seem to pack the centre of the midfield, and so Scotland more down the right hand side. They have some connections, some nice patterns coming down. They haven't built the ball up down the left hand side quite as much. Interestingly, the Indians have used their left hand side as their key point of attack and have tried to come down the near side to the stand on most occasions. We're almost cutting each other out. I think Scotland may look to be a little bit more flexible and have some players from midfield running and making connections. The Indians are playing towards the end of there some quite long balls, trying to get the ball one-on-one in a high area, so it'll be interesting to see whether they change that in the second half.
It certainly will, and that's what will be going through the coaches' minds at the moment. We can see on the screen the half-time score, Scotland 0, India 0, and we'll be back in a few minutes' time. I hope you can join us for the second half.
The buzz is just unbelievable just now. It's back in my hometown in Trin, everybody's talking about it, and just hopefully I can be part of that Scotland team, and if I am, it'll be a memory I'll never forget.
Since joining Scottish Gymnastics, to compete at the Commonwealth Games, it's going to be my first Commonwealth Games, and no better place to do it than in my home country.
Commonwealth Games are really the only time you get to represent like Scotland on its own, and yeah, it's really special. It's like your own little family really when you're on the team. Go Scotland!
Do you know what? I don't think there'll be anything to beat it. You know, I competed at the London Olympics and that was really special, but Glasgow I think will just be something else. Go Scotland!
It's very important getting to have the backing of the community, the country and that. I'd like folk to get behind you and enjoy what you're doing and appreciate what you do, and that's what I hard work's for. Go Team Scotland!
I think it's really important that people back Team Scotland. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for everyone to come together and support the team.
There's obviously going to be a great buzz around the city, and we're really looking forward to having the spectators come out and see netball. Netball's not one of the most profile sports that we've got here, so we're really looking forward to seeing how we can really engage with the spectators and show what netball's all about. Go Scotland!
Oh, the support will be huge. If everyone turns up, it's going to be a great atmosphere. There's nothing better than playing on a badminton court with the whole crowd Scotland behind you. It's a really great feeling, and I really hope to experience it.
Being from Glasgow myself, nothing more that you want to do in your career. Homegrown, in your city, all your friends, family can all come and watch. There's nothing really more you want. Go Scotland!
Being in judo, it's an individual sport, but when you're in that fight and if you're down the score, if you just need that extra lift. With Glasgow 2014 coming up and the massive Scottish team that we're going to have in Glasgow, it feels like a family. Go Scotland!
It's a huge honour and it's a pinnacle of anyone's career. I was fortunate enough to play back in Melbourne a few years ago now, where the whole experience was incredible. I'm sure that Glasgow can look to emulate that.
The atmosphere in Delhi was great, even when we're halfway across the world. So to imagine what it's going to be like in Glasgow when we're in front of a home crowd, it's going to be twice as good. Go Scotland!
This will be my first games and it'll be a home game, so for me it's, as much as it's a cliche, it will be a dream come true, and just to have that support and to have my family and friends support me at home games, it means everything to me. Go Scotland!
The best of Scotland is right on your doorstep this year. Hundreds of events are taking place across Scotland to celebrate Homecoming 2014. So you won't have to travel far to find them. Homecoming 2014, a year of brilliant moments right on your doorstep.
Welcome back to the International Hockey Centre here in Glasgow, where the half-time score in this morning's opening game, the 7th-8th place playoff, is Scotland 0, India 0. Rona and Neil still in the commentary box, and just a quick reflection on that half. Rona, Gordon Shepherd won't be happy with the chances that Scotland haven't taken, and it has followed a pattern of play, I suppose, that we've seen from both these teams up until this point in the tournament.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and I think that's one of the key issues of why Scotland are playing off this morning for 7th and 8th. They have created a number of opportunities throughout the tournament, but at this level we know that is the difference between playing off for 7th and 8th and possibly, obviously, reaching the final stages. So that will be an area that will concern him a little bit, but in the other hand of that, they are creating the chances, and it is a preparation phase looking forward, so he will hope, though, that they will be able to possibly capitalise on a few of them in this second half.
Neil, just take us through the various chances in that first half. 3 short corners and a couple of shots that might have come to something. Let's take a look at the first of those short corners now.
Yeah, it's a good corner. This is when the Indians were down the defending player, but if you look at where the Indian defence is, there's only one player ahead of the penalty spot. So Scotland were still shooting from about 16 yards when you would be looking to get a far better opportunity closer to the goal to be able to do that.
And then the second chance, this probably the best chance of the half for Scotland.
Absolutely. Ailsa picks up on a mistake by the Indian defender, looks up, great hit across the goalkeeper, which is what you're looking for to do. Goalkeeper really stretches out very, very well, and the save, as you're looking for from a coach when the save is made, comes back into play, but straight to an Indian defender who clears it well. You're always looking for your player to hit across the goalkeeper so that any save, instead of going out for a long corner, actually comes back into play and you get the chance of a rebound.
I don't know if you've had the opportunity to see much of Savita over the course of the tournament. Despite India's appalling goal difference in the pool stages and what's followed since, Savita's actually not a bad tournament. She's made some really good saves over the course of this tournament.
Yeah, she has, Jack, and it was interesting. They changed their goalkeepers at half-time in yesterday's game, and she was introduced into the play, and she was called into action almost immediately, and I was impressed with her in that second half. I think she has produced a good number of saves, but to be fair to her, with the number of attacks teams have had against India, she can't be responsible for saving every single one. She's got to have a little bit of help from her teammates as well.
Can't be expected to do everything. Neil, the second.
Sorry, Jack, they're just warming up their second goalkeeper just now, so it'll be interesting to see whether they do change at half-time, and if they do change their penalty corner defence? Do they sit back because they have a real strength in Savita and let the flicker flick and then pick up the rebound? And it'll be interesting to see what they do second half with that.
As Rona said at the start of the game, a young team and a coach that's prepared to experiment, and he's obviously making sure both goalkeepers come away from this tournament with plenty of experience. Let's take a look just at the second short corner, Neil, just before the second half.
Yeah, out to the top castle. Nikki Kidd coming in, drag flick. Again, though, if you look at where the Indians are, they're playing a box 4. There's no pressure on the shot. The front two are at the penalty flick spot, so there's nobody within 5-7 yards of the top of the circle. Just saying to the attacking team, come on, flick. Do what you can from there. I would hope that if they want to score, Scotland look at trying to move the ball a little bit closer towards the goal and find some options that gives them shots a bit closer to where the goalkeeper and the defence are.
And then a shot just towards the end, a chance for Nikki Lloyd here.
Good baseline break, head up, early release of the ball, bobbling a little bit as Nikki turns. She does well, keeps her eye on it, but weight wasn't quite over the ball, and head comes up and just drags it past the near post a little bit.
So the score at half-time, Scotland 0, India 0. Scotland now going from right to left in this second half, and the commentary team all the way through till full-time, I should say, is Neil Sturrock and Rona Sims.
So yeah, thank you very much, Jack. We've just seen the highlights of the first half, and Scotland have started strongly in the second half. It is straight up to the Indian goal mouth. Vicky Bunce playing a good reverse stick cross right across, and the Indian defence called straight into action. And we would love to hear your thoughts. You can tweet us at FIH_hockey #CC1. So please let us hear your comments on not only this match but any of the previous matches. So Scotland really starting very positively here. Getting forward is Emily Maguire, who was just on the edge of the Indian circle, but they do manage to clear it. A little bit unorthodox, just right up the other end of the pitch, but Scotland now having to start again, rebuild from the back, and Katrina Ralph now trying to create some forward momentum. It's going to be an interesting opening few minutes, I think, Neil, just to see how the teams settle into the second half.
Absolutely, but what we've already seen, Rona, is what we talked about at half-time, the Scotland midfield players picking up the ball and running and committing Indian players. Great start run by Ailsa in the first couple of minutes, and even there, Kat Ralph and Vicky Bunce beginning to pick up the ball and actually try and create things.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we speak, even the sun, I think, is coming out this morning, so hopefully It will be a great day of hockey. We have a lot of hockey ahead of us. This is just the opening match of the finals day, day 6 of the Women's Champions Challenge 1 here at the International Hockey Centre in Glasgow. So Scotland on the attack again. They have a long corner. It is with Nikki Kidd, but dispossessed on that occasion. Allows India an opportunity to break out, but India defending so deep, Neil. When they broke out there were absolutely no players ahead of the ball to get that release pass.
Absolutely, they had so many players at the back. The space between the back and the three forwards was so much that Scotland managed to pick the ball up. Really good, strong start by Scotland. Patience at the right time, but also then getting the ball into danger areas to try and cause some problems for the Indian defence.
Yeah, and that's a lovely little bit of link-up play there. It's with Nikki Kidd. She smashes it into the circle, but only as far as Ali Bell's calf. So that will be a hit out to India. We can see Gordon Shepherd pacing around the touchline. He will be anxious. And a great ball forward to India, all the way to Scotland circle. What an opportunity, but a great tackle. And a very, very important tackle there from Becky Ward just to stop that Indian attack. But that was Scotland caught out a little bit there, just Neil, and a ball back to front all the way through to their high forward. Absolutely, and that's one of the things that Scotland are going to have to be careful of with when they're pressing and taking the ball all the way up against the Indian defence. That the one long ball out of the Indian defence to attack, hitting a high forward. But fantastic defending by Becky Ward. I think she's one of the unsung heroes in the Scotland defence. Very calm, very steady, makes really good decisions. So, an entertaining couple of opening minutes here in this second half, but the score remains the same. It is Scotland 0, India 0, and both teams, I'm quite sure, will create opportunities in this second half. A great ball and lead, Vicky Bunce, as we speak. A fantastic opportunity. I think she was looking to shoot there, Neil, with the pace of that ball, but unfortunately it goes straight across the front of the goal. We can see it here again on the replay. Yes, again, a great build-up and a lovely ball from Becky Ward, splitting the defenders into Vicky. And yeah, I'm sure she was shooting. As you know, as a forward, it would be nice to just have your stick down there anyway, and then you pick up any of the scraps on it. But a really good start, first 5 minutes from Scotland. I think Gordon, their coach, will be a bit happier with this, but obviously be happier if they can get a goal from it. Absolutely, we've seen quite a feature throughout this tournament, a number of teams having a lot of opportunities, a lot of pressure, not taking those opportunities, and it's come back to hurt them later on in the match. I think so. The one thing I liked about that from Vicky was she hit the ball really, really hard. When you do that, there's always going to be a chance of something happening. I'm not a big fan of the push or the sweep shot towards goal because it doesn't have enough power. Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see someone hitting the ball at goal, and as you say, anything can happen. It could take a little deflection, and there were players on the far post. They've got to be brave on those in these situations, and as I say, just have your stick down. You never know what might arrive. Absolutely. Interestingly, Scotland build up in the first 5-6 minutes of the second half have actually been down the left-hand side, which they didn't play an awful lot down in the first half. I don't know whether Gordon has identified something, but Vicky Bunce is lurking wide on the left-hand side, and the Scotland outlet pass have been getting to her. Here come India with an opportunity themselves to break forward. It's a relatively slow build-up this time because they don't have the numbers ahead of the game, but it has fallen for them, and they do have the ball in the Scotland circle. Scotland just need to be aware, and what an opportunity there. That could and should have possibly been the opening goal for India, Neil. Absolutely, absolutely. Really good break down left, good skills. Goes round the defender on the reverse side, flicks it across, and then has one chance to go across the goal, but the forward coming in at the back post just doesn't manage to get enough on it to deflect it into the goal. A warning for Scotland that they need to just be careful at the back whilst they are going forward for that goal. Yep, that should have been the opener in this match, but Scotland can breathe a sigh of relief. the scores remain 0-0, but a deflected ball high into the Indian circle. She defends it and knocking it above her head, which the umpire signals therefore for a penalty corner. So, can Scotland now take this opportunity? They've had a few penalty corners. We can just see there from the replay, Neil.
Yeah, the ball hit the cross into the circle, and Indian player, as she's allowed to do now, playing it above her head, but on playing it down, she played it straight at the Scotland player, and the umpire deemed it dangerous. Scotland have got their third penalty corner. Let's see whether they can move the ball to an area that gives them an easier shot.
So India play the box again. Scotland, however, take the straight strike. Keeper makes a good save, and as you say, Neil, and we've discussed before, Scotland really need to try something different if India continue with this defence.
Yes, all they're doing is letting the attacking team put the ball into their goalkeeper. Goalkeeper logged early there because it was a hit, so she went down. Scotland hit the ball in there. Ball didn't come out very far for the rebound, and so Scotland were lucky to get another corner.
This time they do go for an option, a drag off Vicky Bunce, looking for ball back to the injector, but it doesn't quite connect, and India breaking quickly up to the other end. It's deep in the Scotland final third. They have now got numbers back, but it was end to end there, and Scotland possibly a little bit disappointed with that execution at the corner, Neil.
Yes, again, I think it was the sort of ball that actually is meeting rink to the box four that they've got, because it goes across the front person trying to get back to the pusher. Really good attack from the Indians, but Scotland slowed it up well, but they're now going to have to play a couple of minutes one short because of an overzealous challenge.
So you're right, Sarah Robertson has earned herself a green card. That is an automatic 2-minute suspension. So Scotland a number down, but a great opportunity. It breaks Vicky Bunce. A fantastic solo goal. That just shows you, with 10 players or not, finally Scotland have capitalised. A great individual effort from Vicky Bunce, and we will be able to see it here in the replay.
Great skills by Vicky, and determination. Getting tackled from behind, a wee bit of stick chop, but she manages to keep going, goes between the Indian defenders, sets herself up as the goalkeeper comes out, and gets a nice powerful hit that goes under the goalkeeper before she manages to get down. Just what we were talking about at half-time, Rona, the midfield players of Scotland starting to drive and actually create things, make the Indian players tackle and actually getting through and creating space. But under a bit of pressure at the back now, so need to defend well.
So, as India break back up the field, they have earned themselves a penalty corner. And these are crucial minutes. We know how important you can score or concede a goal. The next couple of minutes, absolutely crucial. And we see it here on the replay. Lovely individual skill, and it finds the foot of Susan McGilvray. And quite rightly so, the umpire awards a penalty corner. So, interesting times. Let's see what India can produce at this end now, Neil.
Absolutely. Interestingly, most goals in hockey and in football are scored within 5 minutes of a start and 5 minutes of a goal going in, so it's really critical for Scotland that they hold this out and maintain their advantage.
Oh, and as we speak, a fantastic execution from out corner. We saw that corner used yesterday from India, and India level the scoring. It is Scotland 1, India 0. We can see it here on the replay, Neil.
Really good option in against the defensive left post. Player coming in front of the defender, just getting that deflection in behind the goalkeeper. So now we've got a game going.
We certainly have, and Scotland will be mightily disappointed. Gordon Shepherd, I'm quite sure he is pacing the touchline, will be absolutely gutted that having taken the lead within minutes, if not seconds, India have levelled the scoring. So if you've just joined us, it is in India 1, Scotland 1 in this opening match of the Women's Champions Challenge. And it is certainly going to be an entertaining game from now on. It is end-to-end stuff, and you can almost immediately see, well, I think we're immediately going to see another card. I'll come back to you in a second, Neil. That was a little bit of a a tackle which was deemed a little bit harsh, stick tackle there. So India now down to 10 players. Avit will now have to watch the action for 2 minutes, but almost a different spring in the step now from India. That goal has given them a huge amount of confidence.
I think it always does to players, Rona, when the coach calls a move because they've seen something and it works, then the players start to believe a little bit more, put a little bit more effort into doing what they've been asked to do. For Scotland here, they've got an advantage for a couple of minutes. What they need to do is just make sure that they take advantage of that by moving the ball into the right areas and getting the ball into the circle.
So Scotland trying to capitalise on the numerical advantage. It is with Nikki Kidd trying to break through, but outnumbered there by the Indians, and they have time now to settle down when there's free hit situation, but it is certainly end-to-end stuff at the moment. For the neutral, Neil, it is quite an exciting encounter.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of hard work and pressing going on, making sure that players don't have time to look up and get their main pass.
So Scotland attacking again, this time Ailsa Wiley all the way out. Susan McGilvray looking to slap the ball hard into the circle, but it's Indian defence standing firm, and they now can break out themselves. A little bit of a head knock there, but yeah, the umpire signals time stoppage just to give Gola, the number 2, just a little bit of time to regain her composure. Just an accidental bump.
Yeah, turned into Katrina Ralph and just got her head hit by the stick.
So, umpire will signal, and here we hear the whistle to restart the game. It is Scotland 1, India 1 at the moment, with 21 and a bit minutes remaining in this match. Plenty of time for some more goals. And I'm quite sure we will see more goalmouth action in the final stages of this match this morning. It's with Scotland at the back, patiently working the ball back. The Indian coach, Neil Hallwood, just issuing some instructions, making sure his players are concentrating. And here come India on the attack once again. Lily just trying to connect with her forwards, but it finds a Scotland foot on the way forward, so it will come back for an India free hit.
Neil Hoggood just making some notes during the game, just trying to see which parts of his players he wants to look for next.
A great ball forward again, and that is quite dangerous for Scotland. I've just urged those Indian players a little bit braver and dive in there, could really cause Scotland a lot of problems.
I think this is an impact of the way the Indians are playing 4 forwards, Rona. It means that the Scotland back 4 almost have to pick up man for man, and there's no cover. So whereas normally you would hope to have somebody in the zone in front of that long ball, because they're marking man for man, the players sometimes get a little bit caught between not one thing nor the other.
So Scotland now breaking, but a loose pass by Nikki Lloyd allows India and Dali to pick it up, but Scotland pressing hard. Manjeet, the Indian playmaker from the back, she has certainly got some great vision, and she could hurt Scotland if they're not concentrating. And as we speak, a fantastic opportunity and a great follow-up, and India now take the lead. They lead by 2-1, and Scotland, as we've spoken and said about that long ball, it happened all the way from the back from Manjeet. Scotland must make sure they are concentrating. You see it here
Absolutely.
on the replay, Neil.
One of the issues was at the early ball, great through, and there's additional players up there. Scotland 1 player down and left with very little that they could do in defence. Interestingly, Emily Maguire came out and started to press the ball in midfield and ended up in the Indian 23 when that ball was released. As a centre midfield player, it left a huge gap that really wasn't picked up by anybody, which allowed the long ball to the high forwards. Scotland need to be careful. Whilst, yes, they want to press, they can't afford to leave the ball on into the Indian forwards, because we see what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And India now 2 goals to Scotland's 1. It is going to be an interesting final 18 and a bit minutes to this game. Scotland will be bitterly disappointed with the scoreline at the moment. They have seen a lot of possession. They've created a lot of opportunities, but that goes for nothing if you can't convert them. And here come India again. They are full of confidence at the moment. Back into the Scotland circuit. Nikki Cochrane's out for goal. The ball goes over the top. Unfortunately, it hits an Indian foot, and Scotland can breathe a sigh of relief, Neil.
Yeah, really good defending in behind. I think as a coach, I would prefer my goalkeeper stand up a wee bit longer, because Nikki went down, released the opportunity for the Indian player to lift the ball over her into a danger area. But it was actually Nikki Kidd who took the ball off the line and played it onto an Indian foot. Scotland need to take a little bit of time to just regroup at the moment, a little bit of patience, and move the ball around.
Yeah, so here Scotland come forward this time. Ailsa Wiley thumping the ball in, but a very clean pick-up there, I think, from the experienced Manjeet. And they will be relying on her now at the back to tidy things up for India. And as you say, Scotland just need to settle things down. There's still plenty of time left in the game, and because they certainly don't want to concede another one.
No, and good interception there by Lee Fawcett in that middle pocket, stopping the long ball going all the way down, and hopefully they'll be able to pick that up.
So Vicky Bunce trying to take a quick free hit, but the umpire signals that is not where the infringement was, so back it comes, which allows Aileen Davis to step forward into the plate. Linda Clements battling hard, and Scotland have a free hit outside.
That's one of the areas Scotland have really improved in their physicality in some of these tackles. Really strong in the challenge and able to come out the other side with it.
Absolutely. So Scotland ringing the changes, rolling the subs. Becky Merchant back in the action, and she has been a key player at the back for Scotland. So hopefully her influence can drive the team forward and create some more attacking opportunities. Nikki Kidd at the moment is looking to restart. She steps off it and allows Lee Fawcett to join the play. India defending extremely deep at the moment, Neil, and that's not always easy to break down, however.
No, and it's about ball pace and having players in the position ready to move the ball on a little bit. Scotland taking a little bit too long on the ball to actually move it into the next area, which is allowing the Indian defence to get across and put them under pressure.
So India is patiently getting reorganised at the back, taking their time. They are in control of the game at the moment. They lead Scotland 2-1 in this opening match of the finals day of the Women's Champions Challenge 1 here at the International Hockey Centre at Glasgow Green. So we have a great crowd here this morning out to support Scotland. Can the girls produce a few moments of magic and please the spectators? So patiently working the ball round the back, trying to get that forward connection, just waiting for that channel to open up, but couldn't quite connect on this occasion. And India back in possession, using that aerial ball to try and get in behind the Scotland defence, but Aileen Davis calmly taking the ball down. And I think, Neil, this might be an interesting moment. We've seen a couple of green cards, and the umpire has had enough. It is a yellow card this time for number 9, Lily of India. And this is a great opportunity for Scotland now to capitalise on the numerical advantage.
Absolutely, and they've got a good length of time to do it, so they don't have to hurry. I thought Becky Ward is starting to really cause some problems from that left back position.
Here comes Vicky Bunce with space in front of her to run into, but just overdoes it on that occasion, allows India to break back out. But the reaction is good from Scotland, trying to get the ball back, but the umpire decides it is an Indian sideline. A few ohs from the crowd, and certainly from Gordon Shepherd. Didn't quite agree with that one, but Scotland back in possession with the ball at the back with Becky Ward. And we still have that numerical advantage. Time to make that count.
Scotland now need to find where that one extra player is and be able to take advantage of it. Great ball down there from Becky Ward. Linda Clement unfortunate in the control, but a hard one to take.
So it is battling out there. The umpire allowing play to flow, and the players will just have to keep their concentration levels high, keep their focus. Scotland now an opportunity. They've stolen the ball. They don't have a huge amount of forward support. Ali Bell and Linda Clements trying to link up, and it goes for a Scotland long corner. Ali Bell back out to Nicholas Graskin, one of the younger players in the Scotland squad. And the arms go up from the Scotland coach. It's a harsh stick tackle by the Indians, and the umpire awards a penalty corner from outside the circle. That is because of the stick tackle from the Indian player. So now, Neil, can Scotland make this count?
I think Scotland have got to use an option that takes the ball in nearer the goal. Great strength again by Nicholas Graston, but the Indian player going to ground and actually causing a really bad stick tackle, which umpires working together resulted in a penalty corner.
So out it comes. Nikki Kidd looking to drag it, and there must have been infringement by the Indian player. So it is a retake of the penalty corner. Look, Neil, you can
a
see
better
here
option
from
from
the replay.
Scotland, but India this time send out a first runner. Better option going to an option down the far side. Hits the Indian player as they're trying to transfer it to the attacking right post.
No, and this is interesting times. The umpire is signalling a green card. That is a team card, I would imagine, for all I can think about is taking too long to get organised and set up. She did tell them a number of times in the first half, however, that she wanted them to hurry up. So she has sent the injector, Sarah Robertson, off. So what can Scotland do now? So Gordon Shepherd going absolutely mad on the touchline there with that decision. We can see Sarah Robertson, she's a bit bewildered about the whole situation, but Linda Clements has a chance, and India scrambling to clear their lines at the moment, but they do so. So numerical advantage the same at the moment, and that is all, Neil, that I can imagine was the reason why Sarah Robertson was sent off. They did, as I say, speak to the players in the first half. She was encouraging them to get set up quickly for the corner. So obviously she thought, right, I've had enough of this.
I know that in the EHL there's a specific amount of time that they have to take the corner within Rona, but I'm not sure within this competition just what exactly the regulations are. I think, again, Gordon would be slightly disappointed with the result in the corner, but Nikki didn't really get hold of it. That wasn't what she was trying to do. But now that the players are under a little bit of pressure, you're going to see things being forced a little bit. Linda Clements had a shot after that and didn't get hold of it because she was trying too hard. Scotland need to settle down, just go through process. If they just do the things that they've been trained to do and do them properly rather than trying to do them harder, they should be okay.
Yeah, absolutely, but it is going to be testing times now for Scotland. We are approaching the final 10 minutes of this match. It has been certainly entertaining, and just going back to that comment, there is a countdown clock of 40 seconds for the penalty corners. We can see it just under the main scoreboard, so I'm not quite sure what the interpretation was from the umpire, but that was the result. But Sarah Robertson now rejoins the attack for Scotland. They are back to their full 11 aside, and now they really have to make sure that they capitalise on any opportunity in and around that circle area. So Morag McClellan working very hard to try and create some space, but the ball has got to come all the way back out. India defending deep. It's difficult to find space, so Scotland need to move the ball with pace, with intensity, and they earn themselves a long corner on the right-hand side. It's going to be a tense finish to this game. And Nikki Lloyd, a great chance, turning in the Indian circle. They are scrambling to defend it. They do so very well on that occasion. And again, just a little glimpse of how important their individual skills are, Neil.
Yeah, absolutely. You would have been hoping that when the forward turned, that they had a slight lift to be able to get over the flat stick, but the flat stick from the defender just took the ball off and allowed the Indians to come away with it. It's that last touch, it's that last thing just in the circle that Scotland players need to sharpen up with a little bit.
So Scotland have the ball. All the Indian team are in their own half defending. They are working extremely hard at the moment to stop Scotland penetrating into their circle, but it is going to be a tough remaining 7.5 minutes or so for both teams. Scotland pushing forward to try and find that equaliser, but the ball is loose in midfield. It falls for India, and they have now an opportunity, a great opportunity, one-on-one with Nikki Cochrane, and that, you have to say, should seal the game for India, Neil. A great finish there, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. It was Kaur, I think, that had the final finish. It fell kindly for them. She has
great
good
first
vision.
touch, but she takes the ball across the keeper, so the keeper has to move sideways, and as she transfers sideways, just rolls the ball through the middle of the legs. Absolutely classic move that you as a centre forward have done on a number of occasions.
Thank you very much, Neil. Yeah, and that will certainly now put a different emphasis on this game. We can see the Indian coach, Neil Hollygood, down there. He will be delighted as things stand at the moment. It has been certainly a game of two halves, you could say, Neil, but here comes Scotland. Linda Clement into the circle, and she has found the back of the net. So Scotland straight back in it. It is now India 3, Scotland 2, and it is end-to-end stuff at the moment. We can see it here again, Neil, on the replay.
Ball coming down the right. Linda pulls it onto the reverse stick, pushes it across, and Ailsa Wiley gets it at the back post and just touches it in. What we said before about goals being scored within 5 minutes of a goal, concentration from the teams is really critical. And Scotland on the attack again.
Absolutely. Ailsa Wiley now trying to create something. She looks just to play it back, but wasn't a forward there in support. And India now deep in their own defending third, trying to just calm things down. It has been a frantic couple of minutes. Both teams pushing hard in these remaining minutes. Scotland have a sideline ball, and Susan McGilvery looking for support. She finds it in the form of Ailsa Wiley. She's trying and battling away, but just rolls the ball over the baseline. So India will certainly settle things down. We can see they will just want to kill the pace of the game, but I think this is the goal, Neil.
Yeah, see Ailsa coming to the back post. Good flat stick across from Linda, and lovely first touch. Really good from the forward to put the ball away.
Yep, and coaches really encourage players to get to that far post, and that's exactly the reason why. But here we go again. There is going to be another card, and the Indian player is incensed by that, but it is a yellow card, and number 15, Poonam Rani will take a rest, and that could be absolutely vital. Scotland attacking as we speak the Indian circle. It is brought all the way along their own baseline. So it's going to be an absolutely entertaining last 4.5 minutes. Scotland will have the numerical advantage to the remaining end of this game now. Neil, can they make it count?
Well, they've got to make sure that the ball pace is high, because otherwise the players are going to receive the ball with an Indian player on them. So they've got to make sure when they move it around the back that it's flat and the player picking the ball up can move it on very quickly. One would expect that they'll keep the ball wide to try and separate the Indian defence and then be able to hit the baseline.
Oh, Scotland hammering the ball back into the Indian circle. It is wave after wave of Scotland attack here at the moment. They have a free hit, 5 metres out. Oh, it falls kindly, surely. It is a penalty stroke awarded. Linda Clement scrambling around on the ground there. She was stopped putting the ball in the back of the net, and as we'll see here, Neil, from the replay.
Ball comes in, Linda gets it, goes in behind the goalkeeper. On reaching back, the goalkeeper actually falls on top of Linda's stick, gets it under her arm, and the umpire in a really good position to pick it up and give her the penalty. Pressure situation now for Scotland. This one needs to go in, but this is what we're training, or what they're training for, and we'll see how they do with it.
So Vicky Bunce there, calmly slots the ball in high into the Indian net. Keeper could not do anything about that, and can you believe it is all square again? Here's the replay, Neil.
Really good flick by Vicky Bunce. Steps up, head concentrating on the ball, and lifts it nice and high to the goalkeeper's right, out of their reach. I think Neil Hoggood will be really disappointed from the Indian perspective. You and I spoke about goals getting scored within 5 minutes of a goal, and players in the top level game should know that now. Scotland got one back, and then within a couple of minutes got another one back, and they need to be careful now that they don't get suckered in the other way.
Absolutely. So what a game we have here at the International Hockey Centre at Glasgow Green. It falls in again for India. They have a great chance and a great reverse stick shot. What a save there from Nikki Cochrane in the Scotland goal. It is all level here at Glasgow Green. It is India 3, Scotland 3, and this game has certainly entertained the crowd.
Great ball in from Debika. I think she's had a fantastic game in terms of releasing the ball. She started off in the first half left to the back for India and was the key distributor. She's played right at the back this half.
And a touch there, and Scotland have number 4. What a game. This is unbelievable. A brilliant touch from Linda Clement, the Scotland captain. Only minutes ago, Scotland were trailing, and we can see again here on the replay, Neil.
Great ball in, deflection of the top circle. As it comes to Linda on her own, she just nudges it past the keeper as the keeper comes out. Keeper's off balance and can't get to it. 3 goals in a couple of minutes.
It's unbelievable. You can see here from behind the goal, just the faintest of touches from Clement. Put Scotland back into the lead. They were trailing 3-1 only minutes ago, and they now lead India 4 goals to 3. We are in the last 2 minutes, and Gordon Shepherd celebrating a minute or two ago, now trying to calm things down, focusing the players' minds. He will just want the players to play sensible hockey, keep the ball, don't make any silly mistakes. However, that is easier said than done. And I think obviously a big turning point in the game, Neil, the sending off of the Indian player for 5 minutes. That's certainly been absolutely crucial in these final minutes.
Correct, but it's not always that you, as you well know, that you manage to take advantage of it to that extent. I think if you're the Scotland coach at this point, whilst another goal would be nice, you just want to make sure that you keep the possession and you don't give the Indians a chance to hit the ball and attack one-on-one down the other end.
Absolutely, and that is what Scotland are doing. They are just quite happy to keep the ball deep in the Indian defending third, but India now breaking out, and this is the danger, but the umpire has signalled shielding the ball, so Scotland regain possession, and Becky Merchant is quite calmly playing the ball round the back. Scotland just need to keep possession, simple hockey, keep the ball. Aileen Davis playing all the way back. We are in the final 20 seconds of what has been an absolutely entertaining end-to-end match. Morag McClelland battling, recycling the ball, back it goes, and as the clock ticks down, it is certainly in Scotland's favour. They will be happy. They're just going to keep the ball. You can hear the crowd counting it down. And there goes the final hooter. What a game. Scotland 4, India 3. As the players celebrate, the coaches shake hands. We can see a huge sigh of relief from Gordon Shepherd, I think, at the end of that game, Neil.
Absolutely. I think both coaches will have things that they're happy about from their team and things that they're not happy about. Neil Hoggood will be, I think, pleased at the development of his team throughout the tournament, that they've come to this stage and they were actually 3-1 up. There'll be issues that he'll want to look at, but their penalty corner defence has been pretty strong. Gordon Shepherd will be disappointed about the connections that they made round about the circle in the first part of the game, but that 3-1 down to come back to win 4-3 shows a lot of character, total commitment, and you would have to say that the Scotland players were moving with the same intensity in the 70th minute as they were at the start. So real positive things about it for both coaches, and nice for Scotland to get the win at the end. India are ranked 13th in the world just now, and we're 16th.
So as we see the Scotland team huddled around Gordon Shepherd, getting a few words. Neil, difficult now to choose man of the match.
Well, for the Indians, I thought Deepika played an absolutely outstanding game. I thought she was the key distributor to actually make the things for them. But you and I talked at half-time about what Scotland had to do was actually to start taking the ball from midfield and creating things. And for me, the person who did that was Vicky Bunce. And to put away the penalty and what she contributed in the second half, I think Vicky Bunce would be my player of the game.
Yeah, good choice there. I think they were instrumental in getting Scotland back into that game. And as we can see on the screen, the full-time score, Scotland 4, India 3. What an exciting opener to this morning's women's programme.
Thank you very much to Rona and to Neil there. A dramatic match to start us off this morning. Scotland defeating India by 4-3. And two goals from Bunce, one from Wiley, one from Clement for Scotland, and goals from Goyal, Mint and Kaur for India. Rona, I don't particularly know where to start in terms of highlights from that second half. I've marked about 7 or 8 clips that we could look at. Obviously, there's all the goals to start with, but from a coaching perspective, and this is an open question to both of you, will Scotland be more disappointed that they went 3-1 down in the manner they did? Or will India be more disappointed that they then allowed Scotland back into the game when really that should have been that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Gordon Shepherd, his coaching team, will obviously be delighted that 3-1 down, we thought the game was dead and buried, but Scotland fought really hard. So from that perspective, I think Gordon Sheff will be delighted that the character the team showed to come back in, but certainly I think on the opposite side of that, obviously Neil Hogwood would be bitterly disappointed, thinking his team have probably done enough to then end up conceding 3 very late goals.
Well, let's take a look at some of those highlights now as we see the Scotland team. Shep and presumably his young son Rona on
yes,
the pitch in front of us.
That is Max, and
enjoying this victory.
He's probably got no idea what's going on, but his dad's happy, so that'll keep him happy.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the highlights. And we'll start with the Scotland's goal, and this is Vicky Bunce driving into the D, Neil.
Yeah, it's really strong. Vicky's a real dynamic player, very strong, even for someone who's maybe not very tall. But she gets through there, has a quick look up, and gets the ball away as the goalkeeper comes out. Neil Hogwood will be a bit disappointed, the goalkeeper, because she actually jumps as she logs, and that allows the ball to go under her upper leg. But really good option.
And then the Indian equaliser from the short corner. Well worked short corner.
Yeah, one of the advantages of a sweep is that nobody's actually quite sure until the contact, the direction that the ball's going in. I think Scotland will be disappointed, because if India have scored with that one before, as a coach, you would have told your players what to expect, and the player in front of the Indian attacker probably should have picked that off. But Gordon he'll be disappointed they haven't done their job, but it's something they need to look at.
And then almost immediately India took the lead, and you felt at this stage possibly the Scotland team were rocking just slightly, and it was a long ball through the middle for India that broke to Lalima, and a great ball through to find 2 attackers in space there.
Absolutely, and the problem is at that stage, if you've just lost a goal and you're trying to press the other team, the likelihood is that you're going to leave a gap. And so you see here the Indian midfield player coming through, and there's a forward with nobody on her. Actually, she tries to lay it through, but the goalkeeper and the Scotland defender rather, do well to block the first one. But because the Indians have numbers, they're able to get a free shot at goal.
I have to say that just looking at that again, Lalima Mintz able to break into the box. She plays the initial pass through, but she has the foresight to follow up on it. And the 2 Scotland defenders just possibly caught ball watching a little bit, a wee bit flat-footed.
Yeah, I think they just didn't have enough players. But this was the one, Jack, where Emily Maguire had pressed the Indians from outside their 23 into their 23. So as our key central midfield player, who's supposed to be main defensive role is to stop the long balls going through, she was actually pulled out of position to try and create the next Scotland goal, and there wasn't any cover in there. You would be expecting somebody to step in and cut that out, but because the Indians have 4 players up front, our players are having to man-to-man mark all the time, and so that does leave, as Rona knows better than most, that leaves the real good one-on-one for the forwards in the high circle area.
And Rona, then the Scotland really began to wobble, and they went 3-1 down, and again it was another break through the middle by India.
It was, and it was well taken. Everyone thinks, 1-on-1, it's easy, but these are never easy situations. She has a wee glance up there just to see the keepers come, and it's actually very well executed. She just moves it enough, and we all know as a forward that if you just get the keeper moving in that split second, there is always a gap. So she just throws it through the Nikki Cochrane's legs, and a great finish, made it look very easy, and at that point we thought India had sealed the match.
Yes, indeed, 3-1 up at that stage, and then came the rally from Scotland, and within the space of 3 to 4 minutes, they turned the game completely on its head, and it started with the skipper, Neil.
Yeah, I think really good build-up play, good pressure. It comes across. Linda draws the ball onto reverse side. Nice flat stick across, but that's what we talk about 3D skills from Ailsa. The ball's in the air, not an easy one to take and deflect directly into the goal, but she does it really well. You watch the keeper here, has to come to the post, and as she comes across, she's not quite balanced. Ailsa manages to get the ball away before the keeper can get across.
It's a really composed finish at the back post from Ailsa Wiley there. And then the momentum just swung back towards Scotland, and again the captain involved in the centre of everything.
Yeah, and I think this is when the Indians are down by a player. Linda does really well. Touch gets in behind the goalkeeper, and as the goalkeeper turns to try and get her, she gets Linda's stick caught underneath her arm, and obviously the resulting penalty stroke that Vicky stepped up for.
We've seen a couple of penalty strokes over the course of this tournament, Rona, particularly two from South Africa that have been weak and not well taken, but that was fairly emphatic from Vicky Bunce.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she gave the goalie Bally absolutely no chance with that penalty stroke. And again, they're well drilled. Vicky will have practiced a number of these, but it's always the ability to step up there and do it in the day. But a fantastically executed penalty stroke, and that gave Scotland a huge sense of confidence at that moment in time.
It was the quietest I've heard this stadium all morning was when Vicky Bunce stepped up to take that. And you must, as a player, you must feel those moments. I mean, those are the pressure moments. All top athletes will tell you that anybody can show good stick skills, or anybody can show a turn of pace or have a good shot. But it's just having that composure, the calmness, the serenity at the right moment just to pick your spot and finish.
Absolutely, and I think it's always, as a player, you have the confidence knowing that you have done it in training, and you've visualised that moment, you've prepared for that moment, and you've just actually got to block out any noise. As you say, the crowd were silent, so she didn't have that difficulty to deal with, but it just got to concentrate on the process of taking the stroke, not the outcome.
Anil, here's the last goal as we fast run out of time here at the International Hockey Stadium.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody could quite believe at this stage that Scotland could take the lead, but here it is.
Absolutely, good deflection from the top circle, and Linda makes a good lead inside. And again, because she wasn't marked, the goalkeeper has to come. As soon as the goalkeeper's moving, any deflection makes it really difficult for them. And so Linda did a really good job just to turn that into the goal. I think from Neil Hoggood's perspective, will he be disappointed? Yes, he will, but it's a young Indian side. In this tournament, they'd never been up before. They'd never been in the lead. So sometimes as a coach, your players have to learn what it feels like to lose a lead.
Yeah.
The next time, they'll know what it feels like. For me, if I was a coach of either of the sides, I'd be really disappointed at how they reacted when they lost a goal. We spoke about it, that most goals in hockey and in football are scored within 5 minutes of a goal going in, or the first 5 or last 5 of a half. You need to say to your players, look, here's the plan. If we let one in, we need to be doing this, that and the other so that you take this thing out of the game. Right? You need to have a plan so that it doesn't happen again, and it doesn't happen again after that. So I think from Neil and Gordon's perspective, they're going to be really disappointed that their players didn't manage to handle that on the game. But on both of them, for getting 3-1 up, I think the Indians will have a lot of positive things that they'll be happy with. And for Gordon Shepherd and Scotland to come from 3-1 down against a top-ranked team to win 4-3, they'll have things that they're really happy about.
We talked a lot, Rona, about taking chances, and the second half was a great demonstration of that. I think I counted at the point at which India had gone 3-1 up. They'd only actually had arguably 5 opportunities in the entire match, and they'd put away 3 of them. And I thought at that time it was the measure of this match was going to be the team that takes its chances. But then Scotland demonstrated that when it really matters, they are able to do it. So they will take some encouragement from that as they look towards the Commonwealth Games.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, when India look back, their stats are probably pretty favourable in terms of goals converted with numbers of chances. So, but the one thing I think that's really positive from Scotland's perspective is they are creating a lot of opportunities, and we all know you've got to create these opportunities, and then the next step is obviously converting them, which they did in that second half. And I mean, I'm confident looking at them. I've watched them over the tournament. They can score goals against any team, and that is something that hopefully they'll take away from this tournament and can certainly build on towards the Commonwealth Games.
Well, the Korean team are now out for the warm-up, which really is our cue to leave you. We've stayed on air long past our allotted schedule, and everybody here needs to take a short break, have a refreshment, have a cup of coffee and get themselves set for the next game. Let's take a look at what's coming up later on today. So, as we've just seen there, Scotland 4, India 3, another thrilling game involving the hosts, and they ensure that they're not going to finish bottom of the table. So the bottom 2 places decided. We turn our attention to Korea and Belgium next with the 5th-6th playoff. That's starting in around half an hour's time. And then later on this afternoon we have the medal matches. South Africa against Spain first up, and then the final, Ireland against the United States. So we'll be back with you 12:45 BST, that's 11:45 GMT if you're watching outside of the UK. That's in about just over half an hour's time, and we'll be back on air 5 to 6 minutes before that to bring you the build up to that game. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage of this match. It finished Scotland 4, India 3. My thanks to Rona and to Neil for their commentary throughout this match. Remember, you can still get in touch with us if you want to give us your reaction to that match. The hashtag is CC1, and you can reach us at FIH_hockey. So we'll take a short break. We'll be back in about half an hour, as I say. From me, Jack McGill, and everybody here at the International Hockey Centre in Glasgow. Have a very good afternoon, and we hope to see you again a little later today.